Okay, then who else? It shows only four. Who submitted? Najla. Okay, then waiting for others to submit. Finish it off. Finish it off. We have to move further. Um, Get to your more to your report writing and all. Yes, one more, one more.
Yes, me. Son.
Yes, oh, all submitted. Then let's move to your answers. Probability, what you mean by probability, is a branch of mathematics concerning numerical description of how likely an event is to occur or how likely it is that a proposition is true. Probability is the extent to which an event is likely to occur. Okay, it can be represented formula sum of observation divided by, very seems to be from some textbook. It is the possibility of occurrence of a particular event out of all possible outcomes of an event. It can be expressed as number of favorable outcome. Yes, again formula. Probability is a chance of occurrence of an event, something that has a chance of happening. That is commonly used to define mind's attitude towards statements that we are not sure are true. In this regard, maybe one find the answer. Whose answer is this one? This seems to be very good. More sense. This answer have more sense, suppose, compared to all other answers. And for example, the coin when tossing, that may coming as a head or tail. No, this statement is very true. Like in this regard, may we want find the answer that may take time. So by mathematical formula, we can find the answer. For example, coin tossing. Oh yes, it seems to be good. And the extent to which something is likely to happen. In simple terms, that is actually the fact. The extent to which something is likely to happen. And whose answer is this one? The something, that long answer. Something has chance of happening.
Me, Edson.
Okay, good. It seems to be sensible in legal research. And the other question is importance of empirical research in legal. It helps to understand how the policies or rules or laws operate and what are the effects of these laws. And empirical research tries to interpret how the world works around us, regardless of the subject. This research tries to explain how the world is structured. Empirical research helps to identify the real life situations. Very true. Empirical research reinforces legal research. Reinforces, that I didn't get. It helps in appreciating evidence to bring out the policy decisions on good research. It also it is also important to have a deep and critical understanding of law's impact in the subject matter understanding. Empirical research helps us to understand the law better, and an empirical understanding of the law in action helps us to understand the society better. So that it is best way to find the gaps or deficiency in regulations and trying to develop or reforming the laws. Seems to be good. And explain the different uses of Mendeley. Oh, so many uses you understood. Researchers create library, cite references, and Mendeley helps us sorting literature. This is really a gift by technology, the researcher, and make easy works in this era automatically generate bibliographies. And it helps you to organize your personal library and research, very useful in creating bibliography and footnote. Good. And what is impact factor? It is a measure of the frequency with which the average article in a journal has been cited in a year. Okay. It is a measure of the importance of a rank of a journal with respect to number of times its articles are cited. It's a measure which shows the importance of a journal based on the citation of its articles in other works in a year. It shows the ratio between the frequency of citation of articles of a particular journal and the total number of articles. We had a very good session on this one, right? I hope we created something good, but I also wanted to give you H index. Metrics measuring both productivity and citation impact of a publication of a scholar. H index is defined a maximum value of H that given to a journal publisher H papers and cited. Yes, seems to be. I was expecting your own definition, but you got it from different perspective. Then also it is fine. Now let's move to some. Again, I need some more refinement. I think I can do. I think I will give you very small presentation about impact factor. Last class we did something, but in order to get more clarity, I will give you whether I took this session, this impact factor. Not in deep, right?
Last class you had mentioned.
Okay.
You
Okay.
had shown the ranks of certain journals.
Okay. Okay. Now we will take some basics of impact factor, how it is measured and all. So this is just an introduction to impact factor. Am I audible? Clear? Right.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
In this presentation, we can have an impact factor. What is our presentation looking into definition and calculation, problems and limitation, journal citation reports. This is the general journal impact factor content. At least we should know. So it started in 1972 by Garfield. Garfield, this was his original paper, and based on his assumption, he created this thing, this um, list of items based on their last quarter, and he created some metrics out of it. He considers to be the person who propounded or introduced this thing, that citation style, with the impact factor of a journal to identify. So, what are the uses of impact factor? Individual scientists and scholars face the problem of selecting journals to read and keep, and would appear to be of great potential value in the management of library journal, helpful for editorial policies, science policy, and research evaluation. These are the common uses of an impact factor. His paper addressed this thing. Garfield addressed 4 possible uses and the uses of journal impact factor. And definition by in 1972, dividing the number of times a journal has been cited by the number of articles which it has published during some specific period of time. The journal impact factor reflects an average citation rate per article. So, journal approximation of the mean citation rate. Don't worry about this terminology. And if a journal impact factor is 1, what it means, that we should know. On average, the articles published 2 years ago have been cited 1 time. That is journal impact factor. If it is 1, it means this journal impact factor. You follow? Let me introduce how it is calculating. This IF means impact factor, and 500 citations in 2013 and 14, and number of papers published by that journal is 25 and 20. So what is the impact factor in 2015? That is our question. So total is 500. That is numerator. In mathematics we call numerator, denominator, like that. And impact factor in 2015 is 500 divided by 45. How is this 500? 500 is total citation in 2013 and 14 divided by 45. So the impact factor is 11.11. It is not comma, it is 11.11. You follow? This is actually an impact factor. Shows. Then impact factor in 2018, 2.770. So again, the same formula, 19 published in 2016 plus 17 divided by number of items, 721. So 2.770. So numerator and denominator, again, but this is not actually articles. This includes some other things also. Articles, reviews, proceedings, even seminar proceedings, even some abstracts collection are included in this numerator and denominator. So this is the way this journal impact factor. Journal citation index, journals emerging source citation, book index, proceeding, conference proceeding, all are considered in this thing. So there are difference in citation in 2 years and 3 years. What is the difference? In 2 years, impact factor may be high, but in 3 years, impact factor may be less. Why? It is taking long-term impact factor. So it is deviated from this average. So 5 years citation This is the 5 years citation divided by total number of publications. So this is also another latest of impact factor assessment, 5 years impact factor. Then what are the problems in this model? Impact factor are still widely used in academic evaluations. The impact factor is used in evaluation of at individual level. Impact factor, many academicians and review panels have turned to impact factor as a quick way of judging the quality of paper. So it is clear that we should not judge a person or a paper with this impact factor. There are n number of factors related to that. If your professor is very reputed, even if you are putting his name without, simply you are putting his name on as a co-author of your article, your impact factor may go up. So it's not a measure to assess a researcher or any academic person. Probably you can judge, you can make some understanding about that journal. Now, in Spain, publication in journals with high impact factor is an official part of the national system for evaluating researchers' productivity. A money bonus is awarded only for articles published in top JCR journals. There are different countries, they provide money as bonus for their research work. If you are ready to publish in highly reputed journals in JCR, then your impact factor may be high, and you will get more citations, and you will get money also for this impact factor. And next is San Francisco Declaration. It says that do not use journal-based metrics such as journal impact factors as a surrogate measure of the quality of individual research article to assess an individual scientist's contributions or in hiring, promotion, or funding decisions. This is their DORA. This is their declaration. So some countries, they take it as a very positive thing, and also says that be explicit about the criteria used in evaluating scientific productivity of a grant applicants, and clearly highlight, especially for early stage investigators, can be assessed for early stage investigators. So why they are saying it is not a good measure to assess in faculty or a researcher or any journal? Because look at this map. You know what is average and what is standard deviation in it, right? Hello, please respond whether you all are there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then look at this graph. In the first, second years, it have high impact citations, and few papers receive large number of citations. Only few. If you are taking average, what will happen? The same formula. If you are not taking standard deviation, just taking average, the citation may be skewed. And journal impact factor calculation, don't worry about this calculation. This is already available in JCR, that is Journal Citation Report. If you are ready to create, then it is available there. And impact factor may be different in different streams. It is field specific. In history, impact factor may be 0.5, that may be the maximum impact factor. In economics, 0.2425 may be the maximum impact factor. And in cell biology, what is the maximum impact factor? Nearly, it will go up to 15, 11, 20, nearly that. So this is field specific. Impact factor is field specific. And again, the properties of the impact factor are field specific. It shows physics high impact. They are in the top impact factor, and low are very low. Legal research is nowhere in this picture. Medical, if you have some statement like COVID in your article, you will get more citations. Some citation, because it's based on the keyword, you are getting more citation. And JCR report, science more specific to science, social science is very less. And journal numbers, the number of journals in science are very high, and in law and social science is very less. And country based also. In English, there is 88% of journals. And French, Portuguese only very 1.17, very less. So English people may get more citations, they will get more because their mother tongue is that. Then how will you assess an impact factor? That is journal impact factor without the journal self-cites, which means some journals may ask you to cite your own articles or that journal article in your paper to increase impact factor of that. That is journal factor without journal self-cites. Then 5-year impact factor, then eigenfactor. These are the 5 top impact factor assessment. And fake metrics, that is common in 50 fake journal metrics are available to increase your impact factor. This is one, global impact factor. Annual membership fee is $40 for existing members, and they can renew membership which means it's a paid one. If you are ready to pay $40, your impact factor will be high. Global Institute of Scientific Information, GC, journal impact factor. Here also you can pay something, then your scholar citation may be increased. Then cite factor, these are the paid mechanisms to improve your citation. So this is, sometimes it is good to, if the paper have good citations to show others that you have good impact factor, but that you can judge. I am leaving that point to you to select a journal. But these are the issues with them. Sometimes we need to calculate impact factor for a set of documents. Then sometimes you may fail in getting the full number of citations for that journal. That is also, and not all journals are created equal. That is a fact. All journals, different journals have different reputation. Impact factor is just to assess that. This is the man, that Eugene Garfield, who started it all. The problem started from his article, Citation Index for Science, Eugene Garfield. This is the actual article. Based on law in indexing, 1873, subject indexes to scientific literature were existent. Garfield suggests that each article is given a code and all works that cited that article would be linked to the original article. And Garfield recommends keeping track of who cited the paper. It is very good behavior of a researcher. Articles that had referred to the article question. Its impact factor may be much more indicative than an absolute count of a scientist's publication. Here, impact factor refers to the impact of an article. There are different science citation index to identify journal impact factor. This is common formula, that number of times articles published in 2 years were cited by index journal, and total number of citable items in 2 years. In simpler terms, impact factor is a measure of reflecting the average number of citations to articles published in science and social science journals in the previous 2 years. Now, other methods are eigenfactor and H-index and immediacy index. Eigenfactor by Jimmy West in Washington University, and he gave some weightage, highly ranked journal. Size of a journal. It is article influence score. That means eigenfactor is based on a researcher. To allow per article comparison using eigenfactor approach, the article influence score scale eigenfactor score by the number of articles published by the journal, and thus is directly comparable to impact factor. And eigenfactors count is available in this website. And H factor or H index, you might have seen this thing in the last presentation in Google Scholar. It is not with the journal. H index is a measure of the productivity of a researcher or a scientist or a scholar. A scholar, like you people answered in this questionnaire, a scholar with an index of H has published H papers, each of which has been cited by others at least H times. This is the immediacy index. Immediacy index is a measure of topicality and urgency of a scientific journal. It measures same year, not with the previous year or last 2 years, same year. That is known as immediacy index. How do impact factor help you to find the best journal which to publish? This will help you to find the best journal based on the impact factor, but in your area it may be the journal numbers may be very less. Like if you are taking IPR, there are around 10 good journals are there. So you have to find which one is the best one. The purpose is to find how much citations you will get when you become a researcher. When you are a scholar, you may be finding journals for some reliable information, valid knowledge, and cited more means that argument have some value. That is the point of view of a legal researcher. Legal researcher always thinks to get arguments, solid arguments, and different perspective of that argument. So finding an impact factor journal may be a tool to identify the perfect journal in your area. So what are the limitations in it, in a journal factor? Self-citations. These are common strategies applied by research scholars to increase their citations. My paper I published in 2014. I'm citing that paper in 2020 in a different article. And in 2020, I published again that article. This article, 2014 article and 2020 article, I'm citing in 2021. That is self-citation. Many times editors insist that authors cite works in that journal. It is very common. Some journal editors will ask you to cite this article, that recommendation. Some disciplines tend to cite more than others. Like science have more citations. You will get, even if you have a one word of COVID in your article, you will get n number of citations. Journals change their names, thus affecting impact factor for approximately 2 years. That is also not very common, but you can see some journals are changing. Does not take into account of negative citation. Yes, it is very true in legal research. Sometimes you will get citations, but the other author may be criticized you. He might be discussed in a totally different one and different, totally opposite direction to your argument. That is also common. So how do I find a journal impact factor? JCR, that is common for science. And for legal research, we have Scopus index and UGC index for finding this journal impact factor. Journal citation reports are available on this website and Web of Science. These are the website. You will get a good number of citation reports. These are science-based journal data. It shows the impact factor of a pediatric journal. From this, you can identify which one is in top, which one is which one have high impact factor, where I can publish. So selected Journal of Pediatrics, and 4.122 is the journal impact factor. So the median impact factor is median impact factor is also reported in many of this journal. I think you know what is median. So this is my first part on journal impact factor. If you have